Hi all, I've put together, coming up over this next 20-25 minutes, a lower limb workout session. This will work quite nicely with the standing Pilates session from back in May. You can start that first session as you warm up, and then you can go into this 20-minute leg session to make a complete workout, or you can just do this leg session if you're short on time and if you've missed one of the sessions recently. Hope you enjoy. Okay, so for the first move, we're going to do in standing, and then we're going to move down to the mats. So taking your positioning in standing, we're going to start with a little leg sequence of some squats and lunges, okay? So we're going to do 6 on one side, 6 on the other. Now, a complete move is as follows. We squat, we do a forward lunge with the right leg. We squat, and then we do a backwards lunge with the right leg. We come back through the middle, squat, and then we move forward. So we're on sequence 2 now. I'm just going to give you the side view so you can see that. Squat, forward lunge, squat, backwards lunge. That's 2. Squat, forward lunge, squat, back lunge. That's 3. Keep going, give you that distance. So moving into the squat, forward lunge, squat, back lunge. We're on 3. 4. 5. Feeling that working in the legs now, front of the thighs, maybe the buttocks. Pause if you need to. On the 6th one, when we come back to the middle. Okay, give those legs a shake. I'll keep on this side view. I think that one works best. So over to the left now. So we'll squat again. We go forwards with the left side. Come back to squat backwards. Squat again. Moving forwards. Squat through the middle and back 2. So every time we do a forward or a backwards movement, there's a squat in between. So we're on 3. Pretty soon I won't be able to speak to you because I'll be out of breath. Okay, on 5. Moving to that last one. 6. So quite a nice first manoeuvre, as you'll feel warmer in those legs. Also, a little bit of cardio to get us a bit warmer. So we're going to move down to the mat now for the remaining exercises. A little bit slower pace, but equal in effort. Okay. So my equipment I'll need for these ones is just a small pillow, towel, and obviously the mat that you're working on or softer floor. Okay. So we're going to start by working on the little series we do for the buttocks in side lying. So lying on your side, you're going to have your top legs stacked, so plumb line of your heels from your bottom. We're engaging those abdominals, so creating that nice lift in that waist. Nice and extended through the upper arm, opening through those shoulders. I'm going to start with that little clam exercise. The one that always starts us off with that basic clam series. Remember the key thing to note in this one is you're not rolling back too much. If you feel your hip rolling back, you've gone too far. So sometimes your hand resting in your hip, back of your buttock can be helpful as a guide. So using that breath out on the effort, which is the lift. You may also notice that from that first exercise, your breathing starting to slow back down to normal. Okay, so we're going to move smoothly into position 2. So we raise the feet off the floor to create that less stable surface. Just makes us engage a bit more around the abdominals. I still want us to have that control around the hips. You should be feeling the effort around the buttock, maybe outside of the thigh. Okay, good. And then lastly, we're going to straighten the top leg. The bottom leg stays bent. Bring the leg slightly behind us, which I'm not sure if you'll see on the camera. So we're on a slight diagonal behind, if our mobility at the front of the hip allows. Keeping the toes flexed, and take that leg to the ceiling. Okay, I'm lifting up for the purpose of checking my posture, but keep that head down, shoulders open. And again, should be feeling it working there now. Good. Okay, then we're going to finish with that little hold, that hover point for 10, 9, keep engaged in those abdominals, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax down. Dropping that leg forward just allows you to get a little bit of comfort, stretch through that hip, buttock region. And we'll do this before we move to the next side. Okay, so once you've recovered from that side, coming into sitting, we're just going to swap over. So I might get a better camera angle this time of my lower leg. So coming into lying, again, we're going to bend those knees, plumb line of the bottom to the heels, drawing in the abdominals. And we're going to lift that top knee. So starting with that nice clam position, engaging the abdominals, but not over bracing, and just thinking about not letting yourself roll back. Now it's quite common to notice that you might have less range on one side than another. That's perfectly normal. Just accepting what's right for you, what's there for you, and what movement is present. Good. Okay, so from that position, we're going to raise the feet. We're going to take that top knee open. Good. You might notice for me, maybe a little bit more unsteady on this side. A bit less control. So I'm working that bit harder to keep myself nice and steady. Good. Lovely. Okay. And then as we start to feel it working, we're going into that third maneuver. So we're going to keep the bottom leg bent, top leg straight, comes behind us slightly. And we're going to the ceiling, keeping engaged here. Keeping control through the small of the back. Foot flexed. Good. You're feeling wobbly, small hand to steady, light on the fingertips can be helpful here. Good, and then we're going to hold nice and level, gauging those abdominals. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then just dropping forward to relax that hip. Good. So whilst you still relax there, I'm going to come into sitting to explain the next move. So we're at move 2, we're going to move to move 3, which is going to be on our back. So we're going to need the Swiss ball that you have at home. If you don't have a Swiss ball, then you can just have your legs resting on the floor as normal. We're going to do a little bit of work into bridge, okay? Okay, so I'm going to choose not to have the pillow in this one as we do some bridge work, but if you still want a small pillow, fold a towel, if that works for you, then that's fine. So we're just going to start with the legs bent, arms out in a nice open T, and we're just going to use the ball just to do some nice spinal rolls, a little bit of mobility through the lower spine and the hips. I'm just lifting my head just to check how I'm moving. So intermittently you might lift your head to check on the movement that's happening here, but if you can let it rest back down, keeping that neck nice and long, open through those shoulders. And as I move through the middle, I want to just engage my abdominals a bit more. So when I roll one side, when I come through the middle, I'm drawing that belly button to the spine, come back over. Good. Nice. I'm coming back to the middle. Okay, we're just going to move through into a nice simple bridge. We're going to keep the calves resting on the ball as a warm-up position, and then we're going to raise up into bridge, thinking about peeling that spine and rolling back down. Now naturally you'll have a little bit less range of movement with your calves resting on the ball, but I still want you to work through that peel. Try not to really thrust up, and on your way down still controlling through the rib cage first before you move through the abdominals. Good. Using that breath out as you peel down. And just noticing how far your head wants to be pulled backwards as you come down from your bridge. And that will depend on how stiff you are through that upper back. So I'm having to work quite hard to keep my neck nice and long as I roll down. It feels a nice stretch through my spine. Good. And we'll do one more in this position. Good. And peeling down. Fab. What might feel quite nice here is just have a little hug up of the knees to the chest. You can keep those feet on the ball. That feels right for you. If it feels nice for you, you can also do some nice knee rolls side to side. Okay. So you can either stay with the level we've just done, or to make it more challenging, we can pop the feet on the ball. Again, using your hands will make it that little bit easier, or you can choose to have your hands resting on your abdominals. We're going to think about that nice slow peel into bridge and down. Difference is now we're going to be working the backs of the legs that little bit more, so the hamstrings. And we're going to have to work harder to control the peel up and down, because the Swiss ball is making us a little bit more unsteady. Good. Again, ignore my head lifting, that's just for the purpose of me checking in on technique. Fab. So come in for a little pause. So that should have worked the backs of your legs quite hard. So a nice roll at that point feels quite nice. Knee hug or knee roll, just to take that load off. Good. Okay. So I'm going to come up into sitting, and we can get rid of the Swiss ball. So we're on move 4 now. We're going to work the inner thigh. Give that a little bit of attention for completeness. So I'm going to take my small folded towel back again. I'm going to place back into that prep position we did for clam. So I've got that nice openness through my shoulder, upper body. So this time I'm going to bend my top leg, but my bottom leg is going to be straight. Okay. If that feels too uncomfortable for you, you can always rest a pillow under the bent knee, just to make that range of movement a little bit less. And we're going to work that inner thigh. So we're going to work the inner thigh by lifting that inner leg. Now the other thing I've found sometimes, if you've not got a soft mat, that placing a pillow or a folded towel under the resting hip can also feel more comfortable if that's a bit tender. So again, engaging those abdominals to lift. And the key is you're not trying to really work too hard to get the height. I'd rather you have the quality of the movement, trying to get some extension at the knee, and only just be able to lift the leg as long as you've got that length. Really good for working the inner thigh and the muscles that work around the pelvis. Okay, just have a little pause. We're going to make the effort level a little harder now. So we're going to go into the lift, and whether or not you can see, I'm going to draw some small clockwise circles with a pointed toe. So I've raised the leg as much as I feel comfortable, and I'm drawing some small circles, so I'm gaining that control around those hip muscles. I'm going to do 10 of those. Pause, and then I'm going to do 10 back. If you need to rest the leg before your next 10, that's fine. Good. And I'm resting down there. Okay, so draw the legs up and we're going to change sides. Okay, so nice long arm again, opening up that chest, upper body, taking that top leg forwards, bottom leg straight. We're going to go for that lift. So again, the interesting thing is what you might find is you've got more range on one leg than another. That may well coincide with what you noticed when we did the other side lying exercise on the clamp. Good. So a couple more of those ones to start with. And we're just going to have a little pause. Then we're going to go for a lift, and we're going to draw 10 small clockwise circles. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Making sure that you're letting go of your breath as you exercise, not holding on to it. The other thing to note again is if you need a small pillow under that knee to make it more comfortable, or under your hip, that's fine. Do whatever feels right for you. So lastly, I'll pause this time. We're going to go into the anti-clockwise circles. 2, 8, 9, 10. I'm resting there. Good. Good, drawing those knees up. So we're going to come into our final move, which is going to be on our front. So hopefully I'll show you a couple, and then I might come up to talk so that you can hear me properly. On the way to our front, it might be quite nice just to do a little child's pose stretch for your hips and lower back. So I like to have my knees nice and wide, but you can go to wherever is more comfortable. You just have a little stretch through the spine, through the hips. And arms as extended as you need to, depending on what feels comfortable for you. Okay, so from this position, I'm going to come down onto my front. So if you're not particularly comfortable on your front, there are a number of things you can do that might feel more comfortable. One is to pop a pillow under your tummy or a towel if you naturally find small of your back feels a bit too uncomfortable. I'm going to choose not to have a towel for this one. I'm going to make a little diamond with my hands and rest my forehead there. So you still might want to do that diamond, but you might want to do it on the pillow, depending on how far your head is away from the floor when you lie on the mat. So it might be a bit of trial and error. I'm also going to pop my glasses off. So the aim is that you want to have some nice length through the back of the head. So imagining a third eye on my forehead here, I want that pointing straight down to the mat. So I've got that third eye looking down at the mat. I want to open my shoulders and try and rest through my shoulder blade. So I'm kind of, I guess, as open to the mat as I can be. Shoulders in my back pocket. And then I want to gain some length through my tailbone. So I'm adding a tuck of that tailbone so that my pubic bone connects more. Okay, so from that position, once I feel I've got that tuck and that length in my head, openness in my shoulders, I'm just going to think about working through my buttock. Okay, so I'm looking at lifting that leg, coming from the buttock region. Now, because I've run out of a little bit of space, I'm just going to move forward, so you might see my head a little less now, but now we've got that kind of already checked in. So as I tuck, I'm going to extend through my buttock to lift my leg. So I want to try and keep my legs straight. My toes are pointed, and I'm lifting through that buttock. So I only want to lift as far as I can, that I feel controlled in this lower spine. I don't want to be rotating too much. Or if I'm feeling uncomfortable, just to where feels right for me. And on this last one, I'm just going to do a little hold of that leg there. Just a little bit of a pulse for 10, 9, 8, keeping that tailbone tucked. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And letting that side relax. What might feel quite nice to do in between this move is just some nice knee rolls on our front, just to mobilize the spine. I'm just coming up for the purpose so that you can hear me on the mic. But you might want to keep your head nice and flat for this one. Okay, then coming back down. Again, going for that tuck. This time, keeping that pubic bone connected, we're going to lift the left. I'm just trying to drive that movement from the buttock. Again, noting this time, you may find you've got more height one side compared to another. But just going with that. Going with what feels right for your body. And again, getting to that point, we're going to hold. We're going to do a little pause. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Letting that side relax. Okay, back up. Just going to do some nice open, free knee rolls just to loosen off there. Okay, so what I'm going to do, if I'm strong enough, I'm going to come back up onto my knees. Popping back into child's pose might feel quite nice, particularly because I've had my spine in a bit of a different position, and that arch, sometimes flexing back through can feel quite nice for your spine. Good, so as you continue to do that child's pose stretch, I'm just going to pop my glasses back on so I can see you all. Okay, so coming back from your child's pose stretch, just gently bring yourself up to standing. So you can do that in a roll down type maneuver. And just allowing you to see me in standing again. So we're just going to stretch out the leg just to finish. So we're going to do a nice quad stretch, grabbing your ankle, thigh, trouser leg if you struggle with your range of movement here. We're just going to tuck that leg behind us. Try and get some extension through the hip, tucking the tailbone. We should be getting that lengthening feeling down the front of our thigh. Good. And then swapping sides. If you want a balance challenge, you can do it without holding on. Okay. And then to finish, I'm going to do, just using the Swiss ball, is a little bit of a hamstring stretch. Again, a little bit of a balance challenge here. Plus it moves around, so you do get a bit of kind of variation of lengthening sensation through there, which feels quite nice. And you can hold these for longer. You don't have to hold them as short as me. And again, just gauging some length. And by all means, holding on for this one, because it can feel a little wobbly. Good. Okay. Okay, there you have it. 5 leg exercises that you can do at home. Hope you enjoyed. Bye for now.